Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the month of September, and this is the bonus reading, and it is for the elemental energy of Earth. This one right here. And Earth covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you are Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your charts, this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there's a link in the description. It's not a sponsored link or anything like that, but it's to a natal chart, and it gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols. And then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all of that means, so you can find out what your elemental alignment is and what your rising sign and all the moon signs and all where everything is. It's a really interesting tool, especially if you've never used anything like that before. So you can check that out if you would like. For the bonus readings, I like to use the basic Celtic cross layout, so it gives me a good idea of kind of what's going on, where you're at in the moment, how things are playing out for you, and then we'll pull some oracle cards at the end to give us a little more advice or maybe some information that may not be there for in the main reading. So if you're interested in the decks or cards, they're linked below. Anyway, we'll get started here. So Earth, your significator, so this is the totality of who you are in this little snapshot of time, is the Hierophant, number 5 in the major arcana. So this is saying that you have learned a fair amount, you have achieved a level of leadership ability, and that also has made it so that others are coming to you for advice. So you are, in some cases they would call this the High Priestess in some decks, or High Priest, sorry, because you've already went through the High Priestess, you've already went through the Empress and then the Emperor, so now you actually have knowledge of the gods, you have knowledge from beyond the world, and that's where you get to step into a leadership role. This leads you into a higher state, because if you'll notice, you have all these different animals down here coming to you, Earth, to ask for your advice, to seek you out for knowledge. So where you are currently standing is actually kind of at a pinnacle. Like, you've been there, you've done that, and now you're moving into this position. Does it mean that you're done learning? No. But what it does mean is that you've achieved what others have been kind of looking towards or trying to find someone who can teach them. So you're in a really good spot in the moment. So the energy that's crossing you, and this could be an obstacle, a challenge, a lesson to be learned, or just something that's kind of in the way, is the 6 of Swords. Swords are air energy, so this is your opposite. So this could be a little bit of a frustration. And this energy, when it's upright, is all about observing things from above, seeing things from a different perspective, and knowing that you are the one kind of leading the charge, but you are also protecting. Whoops, there he is, because she has a little baby on the back. So you're kind of protecting and showing others how this stuff is done. Your challenge, from what I'm getting with the way this card is showing up in this reading, is you're almost a little bit nervous about stepping up. Public speaking may not be your thing. It could be something along the lines of, well, I don't really know enough to be in that position. Okay, you might not think so, but the people who don't know anything about the subject are watching you going, yeah, but you already do this. Well, yeah, but I may not know. Okay. But you're doing it. So what's coming up right here as far as the energy goes is feeling a little bit of self-conscious, like, do I really know what I'm talking about, or is this something that I'm completely wrong on? And the universe wants to bring in, this is something for you to overcome this month. This is something to work on. A little bit of positive self-esteem is actually a good thing. Having pride in your accomplishments, not an arrogant, I'm better than other people pride, but the pride of, man, I actually got that accomplished. That's cool. What else can we do? You know, it's that kind of energy. So your higher self energy is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so you're going to have a little bit of a challenge in the intellectual aspect this month, but it's because air is showing up pretty heavily. Your higher self is really saying, be the calm amongst the chaos. The sword in this case is indicating you. It's the chaos swirling around you and you're surviving. You have an advisor, you have some kind of an external guide, this is your higher self, coming in to give you the advice to help you understand what's happening, but you're kind of standing at the center of a maelstrom. And this is not the most fun place to be, but your higher self is saying, look at where you've accomplished, what you've accomplished so far. Look at how far you've come. And they're showing me that this is something to do with work. Like you've overcome some chaos at work. You've overcome some obstacles that other people have been, let's just say they didn't do things as successfully as you did. And you may come out a little battered and bruised. Your higher self is showing a little injury here. So there could be some, you're not coming out of this unscathed, but you're coming out of it on top. And that's where that chaos is swirling around. But you're able to kind of stand in your peace because you're like, you know what? I know what's happening. I know the path ahead. I know what the game plan is. I know what the policies are, whatever it is. So you can watch all of this nonsense going on with almost an air of humor, where it's like, are you really doing this? Stay over there. Keep your chaos out of my way. I don't need it. Because you're grounded and you're centered Earth, which is huge. And it could be a little bit of an intellectual thing where other people are trying to throw questions at you and you're just like, you know what I know, but I also know that I don't know stuff, so back off. And your higher self is coming in to actually be supportive of this. Like, know your boundaries. If stuff's not in your sphere of influence, you can draw that line and they can stay over there and play. It's not necessary to constantly be in that state, which is really helpful in reality. So your shadow, yeah, you've definitely are going to be working through a lot of air energy this month. You have the Queen of Swords as your shadow self. So this is a little bit of self-doubt, not seeing the forest for the trees and not seeing your path ahead because your eyes are closed. This is where you have the blessings. Your shadow saying, look at everything that you've accomplished. You've got the snowdrops, you've got the blue butterflies. You've achieved a great deal. You're looking at the one mistake going, why did I do that? You're looking at this one mistake saying, I can't believe I failed. Earth, seriously. You didn't fail. You have succeeded in ways that you never thought possible. And they're saying that you could have got that promotion that you've been looking at. This could be starting your own business. This could be clearing out that problem that other people have not been able to succeed at. If you're a tech person, you could have figured out that I'm not a tech person, so that's where they're showing me a code. They kept showing me images of lines of zeros and ones. I'm like, what are we looking at? But it's that you've like solved the coding problem. You've achieved a great deal. Yeah, there's been a mistake along the way, but don't focus on that. And the Queen of Swords, we're talking about some divine feminine energy coming in, basically trying to be supportive of you. And there's this almost pushback like, no, I need to wallow. And your shadow's going, what are you doing? Why are you in the dark? Get out of here. You have the light. You're the one who's in the balanced place. You're able to stand at the center of chaos and be successful. Why are you worried about this one mistake? And your shadow is usually the place where you shove all the stuff that, you regret or you repress or all that. And your shadow at this point is like, you don't need to be here. You didn't do anything. Get out of here. So it's actually really supportive of your shadow to say, this is not the place for you. You need to be in that higher state where you're centered, where you're balanced, where the maelstrom's going on around you, but you're just okay with everything. Like, you know where you're at and you know what you're doing. People are causing chaos, but that's on them. That's not your problem. So that's actually a lot of support from your shadow. They can be a little touchy sometimes. Your history, the last 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Ten of Swords, seriously. And the Ten of Swords is an accomplishment, a slaying of the demon, so to speak, but it's also the overcoming and cutting away of an illusion. Earth, was there something in the past, your immediate past 1 month, 6 months, or a year, that you were able to overcome something that you thought was impossible? That basically a veil that was put over your eyes, you were able to tear away. That illusion was destroyed. Because your success is overcoming a lot of things and doing what others and yourself, you actually impressed yourself, because these other people who influenced your opinion said, oh, you can't do this, you'll never succeed, but you did, and you shocked yourself. You also shocked them, and they're still in kind of like doubt about that. But you've got this really positive energy coming from your past saying you've accomplished a lot. You may have had to fight tooth and nail at times to get where you're at. You may have had to fight within a dating world as well to get the partner, the guy or the girl that you've been hunting. There's a lot of things that this could play into, but it's the fact that you were able to succeed. You overcame the challenges that were there, and you've actually came out on top. That's the history. That's why the shadow is like, why are you upset over this one mistake? Because your shadow doesn't understand. Your shadow is just basically running off the energy that you're giving out, the emotions, and your emotions in that respect don't make a lot of sense to the shadow. So that's where you get to step outside of it. Find out what it is that your higher self, because your higher self shows an injury over here. So that's where this mistake came in. Your mistake's over here on the bottom, the crushed egg, but there's this as well. So you've got this mistake that shows up in both ends, the higher self and the shadow. The higher self is saying, look what you overcame. The shadow's like, why are you focused on this? So it's one of those things where sometimes that thing that you're so focused on is actually the small problem, and not to worry about that anymore is what I'm getting here. So your immediate future, the next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Five of Pentacles. This one is an interesting one because it can indicate loss, but it also indicates secrets. And the other energy I'm getting here is you're the protector. So even though the world may be falling apart around you in some aspects, you're the one that everyone is coming to for advice. So if it's in that job situation, it could be the fact that you've got a feckless manager that's sitting in his office or her office eating bonbons and watching TikToks or something, and you're the one kind of running the floor, but that's where everyone's coming to you. And it could be in a relationship that something happened with your partner and they're not sure where to go, but they're relying on you. Because that's what this energy that's coming in here is. You're the protector. You're the one that can help guide people out of the darkness. Because you've already succeeded in coming out of your own darkness. You've already went through a dark night of the soul, or several depending on where you're at in your spiritual journey. But you've already achieved that. So that is giving you significant tools, really, to move forward and help others as they're processing through their dark nights. And that allows you to move into that higher state. So your immediate attitude, this is you internally, is the Knight of Wands. A little passion going on here. You're still willing to fight if you need to. You don't want to anymore. You've been there. You've done that. But the Knight of Wands is this Knight of passion, this Knight of fire. So your internal world is you're still feeling feisty because of all of your history here with conquering the past and going through all those illusions. That kind of fired you up a little bit and you're ready to keep going. So your inner world is like, what's the next challenge? What am I coming up against? What can I overcome? How can I fight with this? But you're doing so in the most honorable way, because it's not like I'm going out and picking a fight. It's more of what's next? How can I overcome this? And this is a way for you to smooth the path ahead. You're looking at it in the guise of the long term, like what's in the way of my goals? And so this month in September, it might be a good idea to reaffirm what your actual goals are. Verbalize them, write them down, vision board, whatever it is. Get clear on your goals, because when you see the goals, then you can understand the path to them. And that's where this Knight of Wands comes in to say, can you overcome these things? If not, can we reroute the path? Because the energy right now is really interesting, Earth, because you have this fiery aspect coming forward, but it's more of a defensive mechanism. You'd rather find a way to not have to go through the fight. Don't get me wrong. You're going to carry that big sword and you're going to slash through anything that's in the way because that's what you're doing. But you'd rather not waste the energy on a fight. So you're trying to figure out, is there a better way? So it's kind of a cool energy that's Source is bringing in. So the outside world, your outer environment, the stuff that's outside of your control, is a major arcana. It's number 15, if you know what that is, the Devil. And what it's really bringing up here is there's some contrarian people around you that are trying to discourage you. It could be that coworker that wants that position you just got. Oh, you just think you're knowing. You don't understand how much work this is going to be. Yeah, you do. You just did it, so you know what work you're getting into. And it could be that friend who is still single and being a little less than pleasant, we'll call it that, about the fact that you have a partner and they don't, or that you're happy being single and they're in a miserable relationship. But it's that contrarian energy. They're trying to, this outside energy of your outer environment is really trying to bring you down. But as steel sharpens steel, the devil card itself is not always negative. It's more or less bringing you to the state of, this is what they're trying to discourage you with. Are you willing to overcome it? So use this energy to overcome that devil card, because you have that right, you have that ability, and the universe is giving you the opportunity to really fine-tune those skills, if you will. So, your hopes and fears is the Nine of Wands, again with fire. But the Nine of Wands is actually a rather successful card. So your fear is not being good enough, tying into your shadow. Why are you worried about this one mistake that you made? And but in the fear aspect, it's saying, well, I'm never going to be good enough. Everyone's looking at me, everyone's celebrating. Not everyone, obviously, because you got the devil showing up here. But there's this energy of celebration from a lot of people, and your fear is, am I good enough? Am I just lying to them? Did I really do this? Or did I cheat my way somehow? Trust me, Earth, unless you were actively cheating and you would know you were, that's not the case. But your hope is that you did succeed on your own merits. You did succeed by the help of other people who were supporting you. They wanted to see you succeed, not, make fun of you along the way or anything. So your hope is the success that you built is the foundation to move forward. And the fears are basically, again, that's that energy of, am I good enough? And then Earth, that could be just something to work on this month, is a little bit of self-esteem, a little bit of self-value. Work with Louise Hay's mirror work, where you go into the mirror and you stare into your own eyes and you say things like, I love and appreciate myself. I am successful at what I am doing. I am doing a good job and I'm making good money. To say these things looking in your own eyes, it's a little weird when you first start because you're wanting to turn away, you don't want to look at yourself. But practice that through this month if you're feeling a little less than. And that way it'll help uplift your soul and remind you that you actually are a starseed. You do carry the light of the divine within you, and that changes how you perceive some of this stuff. You keep cutting away those illusions. So your final outcome for the tarot aspect of this is the Page of Pentacles. This is that apprentice energy. So you're stepping into something where you have a base knowledge of what you're doing, but the page is also that apprentice energy, where now it's time to step into the next level. Earth, you've succeeded, you've overcome, you've kind of stepped into a leadership role is what I'm seeing here, whether you realize it or not. People come to you for advice. People are coming to you for answers. And that's where you're now ready to step into the next world. This is the reward. Look at how close you are. And this is the higher self energy again coming in to say, are you ready for the next step? Are you ready for this next growth period? Very, very positive energy coming in with your outcome here. And it's really saying, you've accomplished all this stuff, Earth. These next couple of steps are going to be pretty easy because it's solidifying everything that you've built up to this point, whether it's the last 1 month, 6 months, or a year. What's going on in September is going to bring all of that into a nice anchored position where you can use that as your new launching point. And where you're headed next, that's up to you. But the Page of Pentacles is saying you've already done all this base work. You're now ready to step into this next role. Are you willing? Are you willing to be taught and led to hone the skills that you have earned into something even better? So let's take a peek here at our oracle cards. Before we do that, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. And if you're looking at the cards as I'm holding them up and you see something or intuit something different, if you're comfortable with it, go ahead and drop those thoughts down in the comment section, because you never know, you might, if I may not say it, you might intuit something that helps someone else who's watching the videos. So it's always fun to hear what other people's intuition reads. I know we can all go through the books and we can do all of the exact verbiage, and I've worked like that before, but the readings are not as accurate. Just that's how I've found anyway. Some people are super accurate using that kind of stuff. Not so much, because I like to see the interactions of the cards, and that's a way to look at the energy as it's moving around. So Now we'll hop into the Oracle, and this is just 3 cards to see a little advice, to clarify something from the reading, or maybe to answer a question that you've been having about some part of your life. So, your first card is number 43, the Repose card. This is actually a card of rest, is what I'm hearing. And it's this energy of you've done the work, celebrate the reward. Maybe take a break. You've put everything into this, whatever it was, whether it was the work or the personal life, you've put all this effort into it. Now it's time to kind of enjoy the rewards of your labor. Now, does it mean you're done? No, because the Page of Pentacles is really saying you're getting ready to step into something else, but it's going to be a little bit of a smooth sailing outcome here. And the Repose is take a breath, receive a breath. Allow yourself the break from all of that stress, all of that worry. Doesn't have to be long, but maybe take that evening with your partner and watch a funny or spooky, depending on what you're into, movie. Spend some time with the minions if you've got kids. Maybe go do something with your friends if you happen to be single, but do something that's just kind of frivolous, something for fun. It doesn't have to always be focused on the big picture. Do something that just makes your heart light up, and that's that Repose, where you're allowing your mind, body, and soul to just rest. Rest in peace, rest in joy. So, your second card is number 13, Intermingle. And this, I love this. It has a passion flower on it right there. With this energy, it's saying you're not alone. Earth, you've done a lot, you've accomplished a lot, and you have a very... They keep showing me images of this really eclectic group of people. You've got the one person over there with the crystal ball and all the jewels, and they're intuiting whatever it is, but you got the business person over here on this other side who's like, well, the stock market is doing this right now, and then you've got your creator over there like, oh, this influencer on Instagram. So you've got this interesting group of people, but they work really well because they're intermingling with your energy. It's uplifting all of you because, yeah, you're all different and you all have your own quirks, but that's what also brings you together. You don't let things like your differences get in the way. You look at the things you're similar to, and that allows you to mix. It allows you to intermingle. The beauty of all of these different energies coming together to really uplift the whole, individually and as a group. And so the energy that's coming with this one is, Earth, appreciate the unique weirdos around you. You're a unique weirdo too, so just enjoy all of it. But this is allowing you to really embrace that. It's a reminder that no matter what happens, the differences are not worth the fights. It's what brings us together, and the similarities that we may have, whatever interest that is, those are the things to focus on as you're going forward this month. So, your last oracle card is number 46, Choices. This month, there are some choices that you can make. Most of them look like they're really actually good. There's a couple where it's like reminding you to not look at the mud when you're out in the woods so you can see the beauty of the trees, but it's saying, where are you headed? What is it you want to do this month, Earth? The fairies are coming in. They're showing you that it's the playful path of the inner child. It's the playful excitement of what's next? Where are we going? What choices do I have? What doors are available to me? Because you've done all this work. You've come into this higher state. The Page of Pentacles, your outcome is saying the next steps are yours, and they're going to be pretty easy. So then, what choices do you want to make? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Remember, take the time in repose. Take the time to rest and recover. Hang out with your friends. Do that intermingling thing. Keep the peace and just have fun. Laugh at the differences. Find joy in all of that. Because the choices that you're making right now are setting up your future. The choices that you are willing to select in this moment are clearing the path for what lies ahead. That's why focusing on the goals, getting clear on those this month, even if you've already have the vision boards from like the first of the year, go through and make sure that you still want all of that. Because it's kind of a weird thing. When you're moving along vision boards, you might look back at them later and be like, well, I don't need that anymore. I don't want that. That's not something that I'm still interested in. You can clean them up and then tighten your focus a little bit. And that's what I'm hearing with this. But that's where you get to make the choices. Earth, everything in life comes down to what are you willing to work for and what is truly important to you. Those are the choices you're making. Go forth in September and have an amazing month. Make the choices that uplift your soul. Intermingle with that little group of weirdos that you have that are just so much fun to be with, because they usually are. And take the time to rest your mind, body, and spirit. You've earned it. This reading alone says that you've done a lot of work. You've accomplished a lot. Going forward, there still could be some challenges, but you've got this, Earth. You're 100% capable of handling this. So with that, I will let you guys go. Have a great month of September. Hang out with those fun weirdos, and I'll see you in the next video.